Happy hump day, Charles. How are you
Uh,
today, my man?
all right, how's it going?
That's going pretty good. I like your setup today. It looks a little bit different than before.
Well, I just
Did
put
you
on
change
different
the
angles.
angles a little bit?
A little bit the angles, change the angles.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have changed anything based upon that last Thursday. You hit a nice pick four for I think over $900 for $50. So two enthusiastic summer thumbs up for that, Charles.
All right.
Well, it's good that hopefully you're hot. I don't know what Terry and I yesterday was one of those days where I don't know about you, but have you ever had one of those days where you're at the track or you're betting online and it just seems like you read the wrong program?
Yeah, I've had a few of those, let's put it that way.
Yes, unfortunately, I think it's the fate for many horse players that there's just days that it was written in some foreign language you didn't understand and nothing really worked the way you thought it would work. So hopefully today we go back to our normal form, at least the form Charles had. And on this Keeneland card, I think that's very possible. Only 8 races, but a lot of horses. Right now, according to the folks at Keeneland, the current track conditions are fast on the dirt and good on the turf. There are a bunch of scratches, but they are running on the turf, so that's a big positive. Last night, if you didn't have a chance to, please make sure you head on over to, well, you're here on YouTube now, Horse Racing Radar. Great interview with jockey John Geraldo, although it does look like he's in the Witness Protection Act right there. But still a great show. Maybe the lighting was a little bit off for John, but still a lot of great content there. So as always, Jamie and Sean doing a phenomenal job. And then tonight, of course, they will be back. And tonight they will be back with jockey agent Eddie Joe Zambrana. It should be another fantastic show. If you want to know a little bit about being a jockey's agent or anything about that sort of line of work, you got any questions for him, let him know by hitting him up in the comments section. Of course, if you have any picks today, any thoughts for any tracks, even outside Keeneland, let us know in the comments section. Let us know what you think about our picks. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You guys are great. You guys suck. Whatever it is you feel like sharing with us today, please do so. All right, Charles, you ready to try to jump back on that train and see if we can hit another nice one at Keeneland today?
Well, let's do it. The weather here is it might rain around 4 o'clock here, so that's the last 2 races you got to worry about.
All right. Well, hopefully, I think the last one's on turf too, so that could be.
Yes, it is.
All right. So race number 1, 6.5 furlongs. It is a claiming race. At 6.5 furlongs, Charles, so far it looks to me like the bias is for horses that are on the rail and horses that are fast. That's been the early bias at Keeneland through the first couple races. And of course, we have our way to the winner's worksheet to kind of work off of here today. The E-horses, for those of you who are new, are usually ones that need the lead to win. EP can be on the lead or within 2 lengths of the leader. Pressure horses have never won on the lead, but typically do win when they're within 2 lengths of the leader. The pressure closer types can run, chase the leader around the track. Sometimes they actually go wire to wire too. They're really versatile horses. They can also close. Closers are usually more than 2.5 lengths off the lead at the quarter-mile marker. This is all based upon their positioning at the first call. Looks to me like the 4 horse is likely to be on the lead. Being chased by the 3 kind of gives that a little bit of a designation of a left arrow horse perhaps in there. The 8 horse gets the dreaded NC. Charles, it means it's never been close. So if that's the one that beats us, it's going to be a tough day today, Charles. Hopefully it's not. So I'm hoping, Charles, that it's not in your picks. Is the 8 horse in your picks?
Yes, it is.
Oh, no. It's not the first one, is it?
No, it is not.
All right. So let's go through your picks, Charles.
Okay, in this race, like you said, right now, so far, it looks like it's all the track. They have the track right. It's not just speeds, not just winning, not just closers. It's kind of got a good combination. But on my first pick in this race is going to be the 1 horse. I like the rail there for him. Has speed. Hot jockey trainer gets 25. The trainer gets 25% when he drops him into claiming.
Mm-hmm.
So look for that horse there. My second pick is G5. This horse could close very well. likes the dirt, and gets off the turf. So Steve Asmussen gets 20% when he goes from turf to dirt, and of course this horse drops. For my third pick is the one that's never been close, the eight.
Well, you're going to get probably big odds on that. So if he wins, you're going to have a nice exacta or trifecta. Maybe something else
Yeah,
comes behind
well,
it.
this horse has not been close in both tries, 29 lengths back, but this horse has
But
been from Argentina,
uh,
has won at a grade two in Argentina. The
yeah.
horse has blinkers off today, first time Lasix, and Kenneth McPeak. I mean, he's doing these things for a reason, and I think that's why you got the last two races pretty bad. He probably bled pretty bad, and he's trying to get him to focus a little bit too
Hmm.
with the blinkers. And then my final pick will be the four, the speed, or at least very tactical speed. Let's put it that way. Trainer gets 16%, but he gets 19% when he goes from route to sprint, and he cuts back today for that.
Well, I'm going to have the 8 horse in there too for some of the very
Ah,
same
there.
reasons you do. But one horse you don't have, I have is a 3 horse. That is a PC horse. I think it's one that could be close to the front. And if he runs his best race, quite frankly, I think he is an easy winner for Arthurian. Number one, your first pick is my second choice. You can't overlook the rail here so far. They've run 11 races at the current Keeneland meet at 6.5 furlongs, and 4 of those horses of the 11 were on the rail. Didn't run the top last race speed figure, but the thing about the 1 horse Classic King is he's a classic all or nothing horse. Either wins or doesn't do anything else. So maybe I should have him first. Number 4, Brando is an early pace horse with some of the best early pace numbers in this field, as we showed in the Way to the Winner Circle worksheet. It looks like this might be his best distance. Ran it 3 times with a win and a third. And then that 8 horse editorial comment. Yeah, I know he's never been close in the United States, but as you mentioned, was winning some group races down there in Argentina. I have to imagine that claiming 30,000 in the U.S. and group races down in Argentina have to be on the same level. I'm not sure. First time LASIK. So as you mentioned, Charles, maybe there was something where the horse was really bleeding last time out. But if it doesn't get it done here today, I don't know. This horse is probably going to be on a one-way trip back to Argentina.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Race number 2, again, 6.5 furlongs. Inside speed is the way, Charles. And this one, I had so many scratches in this race, Charles, that it ended up, I think I had to redo almost all of my picks once the scratches came out.
So did I.
14 is out, 15 is out, the 13 is out, the 16 is out. Those were a lot of those were AEs. Also, you have the 4 not in that race. Again, we got a couple of never closers in here, Charles. The up and arrows, the down arrows, the sideways arrows, and all that stuff. This is a maiden race, so that indicates which way these horses are moving in direction in class. I prefer the ones in this case where there's a down arrow. Usually the down class droppers do pretty well in the maiden claiming ranks. We see here that the 8 and the 7, although they're not inside speed, they are the 2 horses that are probably be on the front. Speed has been the dominant way to win at the distance in the limited number of races. And we also get a left arrow horse over here with the 10. Class dropper with a down arrow, usually been outside the top front in the front. So it's going to move forward today. Has the best combination of early pace and late pace. Charles, race number 2 is going to be what order for you?
Well, like you said, after all the scratches, I had to pretty much redo it. But there was one horse that I had that I didn't have to worry about, and it was my
So that
first
makes it to
pick.
the top then, doesn't it?
No, he was my first pick.
Ah.
Yeah. So the
Oh, my
10 was
left arrow
always
horse too. Got to like that.
my first pick. So I was pretty close to choosing this horse as my best bet of the day. But it's a maiden
You never
race, and
know.
it's like you don't trust him that much. Uh, the horse goes from turf to dirt. Ward gets 24% when they're 90 days or more off. Drops in class. Tactical speed. Hot jockey in the last 7 days, which is Irad.
Irad. And Irad will do what it takes to keep that lead in the lane.
He will do almost anything. And my next pick will be the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Has speed, hot trainer in the last 14 days. Not much more else I could say on that horse other than those two things. The 7 horse is my third pick. Back on dirt, drops in class today. Blinkers are on, and the horse does have some speed. And then my final pick will be the 12. Drops in class today. Trainer gets 28% when he drops down 2 notches, and he cuts back in distance today. So,
All right. Thanks for joining us again, August. L. Hopefully, L stands for leadership or something along those lines, right? He says August in race number 1 likes the 4, the 7, the 8, and the 1. So a 7, neither one of us have in there. But he does also like that Argentinian horse, expecting it to bounce back to its South American group form. And better. And if, like August, you have any picks or you enjoy the show, kindly hit that like button on Facebook, the thumbs up, that thing. Also, let us know on YouTube with thumbs up. Really hit that thumbs up, that like button on YouTube if you like the show, because it really helps us with the algorithms, moves them up, and gives us a shot to actually, earn a couple of dimes from the folks at Google. And it's always great to take money from tech oligarchs, I think. No, Charles?
that's right. Always get that money.
Yeah, get that money from, so you got to take it from those guys that have billions and billions and billions of it, right? Anyway.
Yeah, they use it to wipe their nose.
Yeah, and other things probably too.
Probably do.
All right. Number 10, Uptown Hustler is my left arrow horse. Top last race speed figure, one of the biggest class droppers in here. And trainer Wesley Ward, he hits at 37% when dropping multiple classes. That's a big number. Although I do find the drop to be a bit suspicious considering the good works that the horse has. And it just went straight down the elevator from like the penthouse to the maintenance area. So it makes me wonder a little bit. Number 7 is North Bay. It is an early pace horse that's dropping in class. Has a bunch of early speed, and I like that bullet workout on October the 5th. Number 3, Charles in my computer again. Conspiracy Fact. Flashed some early speed in 3 out of 5 races, but the problem is it tends to fade, so he'll need to hold it a little bit longer today. And then finally, number 12 was a tough call for me over the 11, Loco. But you got to put Loco in there, right? I mean, that's one of the greatest movie lines, I think, in Scarface, right?
Yep.
Al Pacino, Loco. Anyway, Azzurro, been working out well. Does take a small dip in class here. 28% winner for trainer Michael Tomlinson when he moves down the class rank. Race number 3. You got any picks for race number 2, August? We're looking for that. Anybody else got some ideas for race number 2 that they like? Race number 3, I am looking at a 1.16 miles. This is a maiden claiming for $30,000. If you look at that so far, it's been a really fair across the board race. Doesn't look like there's any advantage to speed or closing. Doesn't look like you get any advantage being inside or outside in the post. So in other words, this is a race where the best horse is likely to win because it's not getting any in-race advantages. Again, this is another one that knocked out a couple of horses I had in here. The 8 horse looked like it was a potential clear winner to me.
Yeah,
he's
definitely
not
did.
Clear winner on the sidelines, my man.
Nope.
What's they say? The most important ability is availability, and the 8 is not available today. Neither is the 13 or the 14 or the first-time starter, the 5. The 1 horse was another one that was going to be in my picks, but he went Sayonara as well. So as you can see, a lot of the horses that had advantages are not in this race. So
did you say the 5 is scratched?
Did I say the 5 was scratched? No, I think he's not scratched. He's a first-time starter. I don't know why I did that. So sometimes I do silly things. No, I haven't scratched out, Charles. So I don't know if he scratched out or not. So let's take a look and see. In the meantime, why don't you run us through your picks and I'll take a. If I scratched him out, it doesn't necessarily mean he's out. It just means that I scratched him out.
All right. My first pick is the 6. The 6 here. He's back on dirt today. The trainer gets 6%, but he gets 17% when he goes from turf to dirt. So that's a good little angle. Has tactical speed and gets Tyler today.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the 5 is actually out, Charles.
One
of the few times I got something right lately.
Well, then I'm only going to have 3 picks here today. And my second pick will be the 9. Blinkers on. This horse can close. He drops in class, and jockey gets 11%. And then my third pick right now is the 7 horse off the turf, which he didn't like the turf too much. Tactical speed and gets Bejarano back on him, so he should show a little something there.
So hit the enter button, Charles, so that the
Oh,
number pops up.
oh yeah, sorry.
That's all right, brother. It happens sometimes. Technology, your best friend or your worst enemy, right?
That's right.
All right. So in race number 3, I'm going to go with a little bit of a long shot here, Charles. Maybe you want to make the long shot of mine your 4th pick in here. We'll see. I'm going to go with number 4.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
King Doodle. I gotta kind of like that name, right? He is a bomb, that's for sure. Has some of the most late pace and better combinations of early pace and late pace in the field. Has a nice bullet work on October the 5th. And with all these other horses knocked out of the race, why not, right? I think it stands up against any of the other horses in here. Number 7, something I probably do too often, pay twice. Has a couple of bullet workouts getting ready for the first race following a short rest. And if you kind of go back on that workout timeline, those are the best workouts the horse has had. So maybe it's found a new level. Number 12, Liam the Brave. With all the scratches in here, could be the pace setter. And again, it doesn't matter if you're on the front or the back of the middle. It's been a fair distance and surface so far. So bullet workout on October the 7th and a little bit of a Z pattern in that last race. So hoping for more in the classic third start off fillet off. And is that the first handicapping angle somebody taught you, Charles?
Yeah, actually, it is. It's one of the first ones. You're right.
Yeah, it's the first one I learned from somebody too. One guy that you literally at an OTB, you had to kiss the ring. So, he was a boss somewhere, my friend. But great, really nice guy, except for people who probably owed him money. But anyway, number 9, Shakedown Street is a class dropper. I think this one is the one that the announcer will be really announcing at the end, closing hard. Race number 4, Charles, is your best bet, but we'll get to the reasons why race number 4 is your best bet. But first, let's talk a little bit about the conditions and the distance. It is a mile and a 16th. We just talked about that again. This one's claiming 20,000 for a purse of 43 grand. Fair across the board in terms of the post position and speed or track bias. So really not going to lose anything. If you're fast or slow, no matter where you are, you have a shot to win. 7 horses out, the 10 horses out, the 13 horses out. So the 7 horse was a part of my picks. With him being out, doesn't really matter much. But the 12 horse in here does have a plus at the 4, meaning at the 4 furlong marker or after a half mile. Could be as much as a length ahead of everybody else. Also has an O plus, the O standing for combination for EP and late pace. So should be one that is involved from the beginning of the race to the end of the race. When I do this little way to the winner's circle worksheet, a couple things I like to see. Sometimes when you see this horse like this, the EP or the PC, and they're standalone horses, they're ones you really have to keep an eye on because they have some versatility, especially in a race that might get a little bit of quick up front. If it is fast, the 9 horse does have the most late legs, so keep an eye out for him as they close in on the wire. And as they close in on the wire, Charles, what should they keep an eye on according to you as your best bet? And August, Charles, is this your $50 play right here?
That's right. This is the $50 win play.
All right, before we go to there, though, August in race number 2 likes the 3, the 10, the 6, and the 7. And then in race number 3, likes the 4, 2, and 12, like you, Charles, only 3 picks. He likes the 4, too. Way to go, August. Great minds think alike.
All right, there we go. And here's the $50 win play. It's going to be the 5.
The 5, all right.
Okay, so the 5 here drops in class. Amos gets a 19% on a regular basis, but gets 29% second after the claim. And then when he drops them down 2 classes on top of that, he gets another 35%. So, I mean, everything's pointing towards percentage-wise, it's all about this horse. And the horse has tactical speed also. So he could sit right there on the front or even sit off him just slightly a little bit. The 2 horse is my second pick. Drops in class, hot jockey and trainer combo in the last 14 days. and should be closing at the end. My third pick will be the 12. Has speed, back on dirt. Trainer gets 21%. Didn't like Kentucky Downs, and he had two races there. So
A lot of
throw
horses
those
don't,
two
right?
out. Yeah, it's either they liked it or loved it. That's it. There's no in
Mhm.
between. And so toss those. By the way, on another note, last year after Kentucky Downs, 49 horses that won at Kentucky Downs and ran at Keeneland, only one won.
Oof.
So
Must
there's,
take a lot out of them.
yeah, I think it does. So there's a little angle to remember. And my final pick is the 3. Has tactical speed. Trainer gets 20% on a regular basis, but when he drops them after a claim, he gets 38%.
Hmm.
So there's another watch.
Well, for me, I do like that 3 where you end off, I end up, I begin. Number 3, so one more, baby. This is a Robertino Diodoro claim, friend of the show. And if you watch Robertino, when he claims horses, they do win. As you mentioned, 30% off of the claim and drop. High number just off the claim as well. I'm not worried about the claim and drop because the purse is 43 grand. I think he was claimed for 25. So actually, if he wins, they're going to collect a nice little profit from one race to the other. The horse gets taken away. Number 9 is my third choice. Mulberry Street does have the top late pace as a pressure horse, meaning he won't be all that far off the pace. And if he's close, coming out of that turn, running down the stretch, has the legs needed to run by everybody to the finish wire. Does his best work on a fast dirt track, which is what we're going to catch today. 10 races, doesn't win much, just once, 2 seconds, 3/3. So definitely likes to clean up the gimmicks. But I do like the Z pattern in that last race. And that's when you get an early pace number that's here, say 90. You get a 4 furlong or second pace number down here, say 85. And then the late pace goes back up around 90. Just as it, so just kind of up and down pattern. Should really be called a V pattern, I think. It's probably more descriptive. Number 2 is Sono Grato. 3 consecutive speed figure increases, so looking to make it 4 in that classic first handicapping angle, third off the bench. Did run better fractions last time at 1 mile and 1/16 than he did, and that was on dirt, than 1 mile on turf. So I think that's actually an improvement. And then finally, your $50 bet is my fourth pick. Write It on the Ice, dropping multiple classes for Thomas Amos, who was on the Players at the Horse Center show last week. I think it was last Tuesday. So that was a fantastic show. If you haven't had a chance to watch that, just go back to our YouTube channel, Horse Racing Radar TV, search for Thomas Amos, watch all those Horse Center shows. And you don't have to pay attention to the news that Sean and myself or Sean and Jamie go through, but certainly listen to some of those interviews. Some of them are fantastic. And I've had a lot of good times and learned a lot actually from jockeys and trainers. It's really helped me with my handicapping angles and kind of things to look for as well. August for race number 4 likes the 2, the 11, and the 5. So we both have the 2, we both have the 5, and neither one of us has the 11. So you might want to review the 11 as you're going through your picks for Keeneland today. Again, if you have any picks or comments, things that you like to see us do, things that you want to see us stop doing, just let us know in the comment section. Race number 5 is 1 mile on the turf. This one is an allowance race for $110,000. That's what the purse is as well. 1 mile on the turf, as we mentioned so far. I don't know. Do we do 1 mile on the turf yet? If not, there is an inside bias where the horses that tend to win come in from off the pace. And Charles, while I'm going through the way to the winner's circle worksheet, can you just put your picks in so that way it's your box it up? We'll go straight to the box it up. Race number 5, really not a lot of scratches in here today. The 13 and the 14. 13 was also eligible. The 14 was MTO or main track only. One horse that did get scratched, though, that was important to me, and one of those horses that kind of in the EP or PC category by itself. The one horse was going to be amongst my top choices, but not today. 7 horse is a pressure horse now by itself, lone P horse, with some early pace that should move it closer to the front. In other words, a left arrow horse by my definition. 2 horses likely to be on the pace as well early on. If you're looking for some late pace, you might want to look at the 4 because it now becomes the horse with the most late pace. But you see, I have a lot of LP numbers in here. So meaning a lot of them share some very similar late pace numbers. So I think you'll see a cavalry coming at the end. So if you have a lot that want to come at the end, typically I want the ones that are going to be a little bit more forwardly placed. It is your box it up, Charles. It's also the end of the first pick 4. Box it up is where we put 4 horses together in an exacta box, trifecta box, and superfecta box. Why did you pick these 4, Mr. Charles?
Okay. Well, it's an interesting race. I think it's pretty well balanced. I think on my picks, you're looking at. Oh, I punched in the wrong numbers there.
You did.
Yeah, I sure did.
Well, what are the right numbers? I'll put them in.
4, 11, 2, 7.
That's what it shows.
Does it? No.
Yeah, unless you're looking at mine.
No.
Yeah, 4, 11, 2, and 7. You have policy.
No, okay, but I'm
options
talking on my
one.
picks. On my picks, great. Okay. 4, 11, 2, 7. Okay. The 4 is a good closer. He fits well with these. Bejarano's back on this horse. And that horse is going to be 5-1 and are real close to it. The 11 horse is my second pick. Drops in class today, has speed, second time LASIK, so that's always something to worry about. That horse should be around the same type of odds. And then the 2 horse has speed, did well on only turf race try. So, horse has got some talent. And then the 7 horse is my final pick. A good maiden win last time. Has speed, hot trainer in the last 14 days. And once again, we're looking at good odds. So this is why I made it my box it up. They all should be at least 5-1 or higher. So that'll make a nice payoff.
Charles says for your box it up, he would put the 8625 in for race number 5. And he only agrees with you on 1 horse, I think, the 2 horse. That's about it. So I guess that's an indication that this race could be pretty much wide open. It wouldn't shock me if it was, allowance $110,000. You got a bunch of good horses in there. So anything can happen. It's horse racing. I saw a lot of stuff happen yesterday at Horseshoe Indianapolis, where I was convinced anything could happen because anything happened. But what did happen was nothing I thought would happen, if that makes any sense. That's a kind of who's on first, who's on second kind of play there, I guess. All right. For me in race number 5, I like the 6 horse. That is Martini and Moonshine. Sounds like a good Saturday night in the woods.
That's right.
In the country, anyway. Just missed, I guess, in the urban, like that would be like in the urban country somewhere. Just missed in the last with much better times. Could be best in the third start off the break. Number 2, Two Birds, my second choice. It is a little bit of a price play in here for sure. Top last race speed figure and his first try on grass at Kentucky Downs. Well, based upon that Kentucky Downs stuff, you just told us maybe I ought to kick that horse out of here. It was the 4th career start, was its best race, was better across the board in terms of its early pace, mid pace, and late pace numbers. So the horse showed improvement all the way around the track last time out. It's going to be its second start on the grass today. It's second off the break, but I'm kind of scared now off of that Kentucky Downs angle you gave us. Policy option has been running really well on the turf recently. Done well at the distance 8 times with 3 wins, a second and 2/3. This is a horse that will definitely be closing at the end. And then finally, number 7, Baj is my left arrow horse. Broke his maiden at Kentucky Downs again. You might just want to flat out toss out those Kentucky Downs. I didn't know that angle, Charles, so thanks for sharing that. Did so show some improvement, and I think this one's likely to move forward in the second start after a layoff. So also
that angle also, if horses that went straight from Kentucky Downs to Churchill, it's the same thing too. They didn't do well at Churchill. So it's only when they win. If they finish second, thirds, and stuff like that, that's totally different. But it's the win.
The board, all right. So I think we're going to start with our prime rib pick 4, if I remember correctly, Charles. Hopefully I do. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, I am right. All right. Well, Charles says he the hell with the race 5. He's just going to all it. And then he's going to single that 5 in race number 4. 4 by 4 by 1 by all. So he's basically betting $88 on the 5 horse to win in race number 4. Not 50, but 88.
That's right.
And for me, I think that first race, the 2 and the 10 and the 7, with all the scratches, become standout horses to me. Maybe not standout horses, but definitely a cut above the rest. And then I'm going to go 5 by 4 by 5. Oh, I'm sorry. That math is pretty horrible. That's not $96. That's the maximum we're allowed to spend. That's 100. Hopefully that 10 or 7 comes through. We got some nice coverage, some nice prices on the back end, some nice. As I go through this card, I have a lot of long shots today. So I'm either going to have another day where I look like I was looking at the wrong program, or I'm going to have a day, Charles, where things go very well for me. And hopefully the professor has a little bit better day today. The parlay of the day, there is a link in the description below. But the parlays have been a little bit cold lately. So you might want to think about watching the entire show, because in that he goes through pick by pick by pick. And you can find that if you go to Picks Per the Professor's page. If you click on that play of the day, you'll see up here that they have the home. You can go watch the show today. Check that out. Right there, you'll see the entire show. So Professor's great at baseball. Maybe he is struggling a little bit on his parlays lately. So maybe take a look at those individual plays instead. All right, Charles. From the picks for the Professor to the picks with Rich and Charles Tango, and just Rich. I don't get nicknames around here. Race number 6. Sean said I should be unquestionably rich, because, and not in the money sense, but because whenever we have a guest on, I do research, and they always seem to be kind of shocked by the information that I bring up, because I do try to make sure that I give them the respect that they deserve when we bring them on the show. Race number 6 is 7 furlongs. 7 furlongs so far at the Kentucky meet at Keeneland. I almost said Kentucky downstairs. So far, it's been speed at 7 furlongs. All post positions are okay, except it seems like there is a little discount in post positions 4 through 7. This is a maiden special weight race where I think only a couple horses have any experience, so no need whatsoever, Charles, for the pace weight of the winner's circle worksheet, because we don't know what that is. None of these horses, a lot of them haven't run yet. So in this, basically put them in a hat, pull the numbers out race. Which numbers did you pull out of the hat?
Well, the first number I pulled out of the hat was the 6 horse. He gets IRAD, which will do anything to win, of course. Was bet well his only time out, so they thought highly of him. Hot jockey trainer combo, IRAD and Todd Pletcher. So you can never beat that combo anytime. The 11 horse is the second pick in this race for me. Solid workout tab, hot jockey trainer combo, bred for sprinting. So there's not much more to go off of, first timers, like you said. And then the 9 horse is my third pick. Solid work tab again. This horse's dam has 2 winners out of 2 starters, which is excellent. But even one of them was a stakes horse. Mm-hmm. So that's something to look at. The only thing that Kenneth McPeak trains this horse, but he only gets first timers out. Win percentage is only 7%. He sends them out fit. I know that, but he doesn't quite have them, tightened up for that first win. But sometimes the stats don't tell the truth all the time either on percentages. The 4 horse is my final pick. Solid work tab again. Trainer gets 11% on first timers, which is the trainer is Norm Casey, which is an upcoming trainer that I believe is going to be one of the tops in the next 5 or 6 years.
All right. So learning a little bit some new trainers. I'm going to go with that 11 horse as my top pick. You have Florent Guru, Brad Cox, top call for him. Steady, consistent workouts. So if you look at that workout line underneath the past performances, none in this case, I like to see that. I think this horse was working out every 7 days, and it stayed consistently on that schedule. That tells me there were no hiccups along in the training session. So they pointed to this race for the debut. Let's see how it plays out. Number 3 is my next choice. That is Diamond If You Do. This horse has what I call an alpha angle. If you look in Barry Meadows' book, The Skeptical Handicapper, at looking at maiden races, one of the angles that plays really, really well, about above 15% or higher, are horses that in their final workout before their debut have a bullet workout. So make sure when you're looking at maidens, one of the first things I scan for is the horses that had the bullet in the last one. Diamonds, if you do, is a bullet and go. I think it's the only bullet and go horse in the field too. Number 6, the one that you mentioned with Irad, was bet down to the $1.45 favorite. So clearly they thought they had something there. Didn't run very well. So we'll give her another chance today to see if living up to those. It's going to take money today too, based upon that $1.45 betting favorite last time out. We'll see if it can get it done today. And then finally, number 8, this one is Mischievous Gal. Was a tough call for me over the 7, and probably every other first-time starter in here. But Mischievous Gal did have a very nice workout on September 30th at Keeneland. So I like the fact that it's training where it's going to run. It was 4 furlongs and 48 and 2. Not the fastest number, but it was the fastest that day of 37. So had to be a pretty solid workout. We'll see if that translates to a solid race on the track. As I mentioned before, I play golf, and a lot of times my solid workouts on the golf range don't necessarily turn into solid efforts on the course. What's happening, Barry? How are you? I'm going to 50 to win and place on the 5 in race number 4. Let's get it, says Barry.
Yeah, let's get that.
Let's get him all. Forget race number. Let's get him on all of the races, Charles.
That's right.
That's what we're hoping, a nice rebound from today, because yesterday was just woo.
Well, like you said today, I think there's some prices out there today to get. So
yeah, I just had one of those days yesterday where I had like all left thumbs on both hands and both feet. Just like one of those days, I'm sure everybody has them too, where just no matter what you do, you kind of wish you stayed in bed and woke up the next day anyway. All right, race number 7 is a mile and a 16th, as we've mentioned before. A mile and a 16th on that main track is a fair race. Doesn't seem to favor any type of running style or any post position. So hopefully that translates to the best horse winning. Race number 7, once again, we go back to our way to the winner's worksheet, and we see again some scratches that could impact the race, because the 3 and the 8 being out in a field that looked like it was going to be dominated by early speed kind of cuts down a little bit on that. But still, the majority, or at least half the horses, or close to half, or half of them, should compete for the lead. My experience when you have a lot of fast horses is you want to go with the speed of the speed, and maybe one that has a little bit of kick. I think the 11 horse might fit that bill, because not only does it have early pace, but it has the second best late pace. And if you can put the two together, has a 10-point advantage over the next closest horse. The 5 horse, being the one with the most late pace, probably sits right behind this wall of speed, tries to run by him at the end. When the race is over, Charles, who will run by all of them at the end?
Well, like you said, I think there's some speed still left in this race. But I'm going to go with the tactical speed horse. I think that will be sitting, as they say, the catbird seat. Will be sitting around 3rd. I like the 5 horse here. It's got the tactical speed. Trainer gets 21%. Yes, he moves up in class a little bit today, but he ran well last time out. So we'll go with that horse. My second pick is the 4, tactical / closer speed. Likes the dirt much better. Mark Casey gets 15% win percentage. So my third pick will be the 1, Hot Jockey Trainer Combo. Back to Irad and Todd Pletcher again. Horse has some speed, moves up a little bit. Okay, it's okay, because he did well last time out, so I trust Todd on that to move him up. And then the 2 horse is my final pick. The horse drops in class today. Hot Jockey Trainer in the last 14 days, and he should be closing at the end.
All right, well, we're going to go on for race number 7 to my box it up. And I have the 11, and the reason I went with this is because the 11 graded out as my top horse, and maybe I should have downgraded him a little bit, but it is a Belterra horse, so I wrote "ugh" in my comments, because coming from Belterra, but based on that debut, I think could be the speed of the speed, and has a pretty distinct advantage on early pace and late pace. If 90% of what he did at Belterra can transfer to Keeneland, at least he didn't run at Kentucky Downs last time. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, there you go.
Number 2, Bourbon Spirit. which there's a lot of that bourbon spirit down in Kentucky. Last time out, this guy ran in a $204,000 non-graded stakes race. It didn't perform as well as they probably hoped, so they move it down. Been working well for trainer Brad Cox, who wins all the time anyway, for the first race since August. Number 1, Forbidden Secrets, blew away the competition in that last race, winning by over 9 lengths versus the field of 10 to break that maiden. Sometimes I find that a big race can be followed by another big race the next time out. And then finally, Bob Baffert ships one in, interestingly here to me. Number 8, Carmel Road, tried a grade 1 last time out. Probably way over its head, but this horse has shown in its limited career that it can win from the front or from the back, so highly versatile horse. I don't think Bob is going to ship one in all the way from California if he doesn't think it has a shot to win. Though it did run a Keeneland race last time out too in that grade 1 or East Coast horse race anyway. Mm-hmm. The final race of the day is race number 8. That is a mile on the turf. Now, Charles mentioned he lives in the area, that there is a chance for rain in by the time we get to race number 8. And race number 8, Charles, is your favorite thing. It is the long shot best bet battle between Charles and Rich. And so far, Charles, you see him over there shaking his head. He hasn't won one of these yet. So today maybe be the day for the Chuckster to get that first one against me, but I hope not. I want to keep my record impeccable against Charles. 1 mile on the turf. If it stays on the turf, there's an inside bias that his favorite horses that come from off the pace. So it's going to be my best bet, as we said. But if we look at, and you're going to have probably a good sense of why coming up in a minute here. We look at this race, only the also eligible scratch, but I got a feeling if it does get wet, you'll see more scratches. The 3 horse on the lead, although speed hasn't been the way. Closing has been the way, but inside has been the way. So it's got that to its advantage. So it's going to be on the lead, probably chasing, or maybe the 5 and the 10 will be right there with it. Maybe be a little bit patient. But the horse, not only should it be up front, it actually has a late pace plus advantage, meaning 5 points more late pace than any other horse in the field. It's going to be up front. You can't pass what you can't catch. And if you put the early pace and late pace together, 3 check mark advantages, 15 points higher than the next closest horse on the card for race number 8. That tells me, Charles, that this is a best bet of the day for me. You better hope you have it in your picks at least. Do you?
Well, yes, I do.
All right.
But I do believe there's going to be more speed than you think. I do believe that the 5 will go and challenge that 3 horse today.
You may. But the late pace is what stands out to me, Charles.
I know it does, but remember, he's been off 46 days. But,
if he was off 47, I'd be concerned. 46, that's the cutoff.
That's the key right there, 46, not 47, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's just really going to set up for one horse and one horse only, really, is the 7.
Oh.
This horse closes very well. It fits here. Gets Irad Bill Mott as a trainer. All I can say is look out. This horse has got some really nice odds right now. Morning line is 12-1.
Well, I'm glad my 3 is likely to be in front of the 7 because
Irad. It can be. It can be in the front, but when he comes up swinging at the end, maybe he'll whip your horse at this go backwards like he did the other day, allegedly. Then the 5 horse is my second pick. This horse cuts back. He has tactical speed. I think he'll be sitting right there about 3rd. The distance is perfect for him. Mike Maker gets 17% winners with these type of horses. And then the 8 horse is my 3rd pick. Likes turf. Julian stays on, drops in class today, and the trainer gets 20%. Then I will say your 3 will hang on for 4th with the speed. Walsh Rosario combo, which is a very good combo, I must admit. Mm-hmm. Has speed, but like I said, I believe the 5 is going to challenge that. Trainer gets 15% at 46 plus days off.
All right. So it's good to think it's not 47 days off like the 3 horse. I told you 46 is that cutoff, my man. Gave you all the reasons why I like the 3-horse as my top choice. The 10-horse is my second pick here in race number 8. Axfelm got the maiden win in the second try with the most consistent effort from beginning to end. I like when you see a horse, when you look at those pace numbers, there's not a huge spike or drop anywhere in there when they're early in their careers. It says that they're able to maintain a consistent effort from beginning to end. Number 7, that your long shot's my third choice in here. Cooler Ridge hasn't raced since January, but does have a series of good workouts, suggesting he'll pick up where he did leave off, and that was a win, if I remember, at Gulfstream Park. And so maybe Irad has some familiarity with him being down there at that championship meet, which is about to get cracking over there in South Florida. And then finally, number 5, Bay Street Money is my final choice for the final race of the day. This one's always close at the end, and I think it'll be more forward, maybe challenge for the lead, as Charles says, than usual. So a little bit of late legs, has the ability to be up front, so you can't pass what you can't catch, which brings us to our hot dog pick 4s, Charles. So when you sent these races to me, I was like, in these first 4 races, I was like, man, Charles, what are you thinking? But then I had my best bet in race number 8, and I was like, yes, thank you, Charles, because I let Charles and Terry determine which races we're going to do for our hot dog and prime rib pick 4s. So I'm going to basically have an $18 win bet on the 3, hoping a lot of stuff bombs, because I do have some bombs in race 5, 6, and 7 come in on top of that 3-horse. Charles, what's your thinking?
Well, it looks like you're pulling a Charles move by singling your best bet in a pick 4. But yeah, I think it's those last races are pretty tough, and that's why I believe that everyone should be paying attention to the weather, especially for those last 3 races. You might have to change some things a little bit.
Yeah, you're probably, like as I say, if it does rain like you think for those last couple of races, that last one is on turf, likely to have some changes for sure. All right, here are our full picks for the day. My long shot cracks off in race number 3, which is the 4-horse. Charles, his best bet is in race number 5, so perhaps a nice little long shot best bet, daily double, right there, that action in races 3 and 4. But then we get to race number 8, the best bet long shot. Charles right away, he moved away from the screen in disbelief. Couldn't believe it.
I mean, everyone that follow us, they know that I've been getting ripped off. That's all I can say.
Yes, the cheating, the scandals.
Yeah.
Did you read about that? Did you read about it in Alaska? I think it was Alaska. They had some like bear contest or like the bear of the year or something. I don't know. But so there was votes for it, and they found out that people were cheating to pick one bear over the other. They were stuffing the ballot box for one bear. I don't know what's going on in this world. You got people with beads in their butts cheating at chess. You got people with vibrating rings, allegedly, to cheat at poker, right?
And now we have Rich looking at my computer for my picks half the time.
You got people putting lead weights in fish.
Fishing
contests. And you have people cheating on bear contests. I mean, what the hell is going on in the world in 2022? Oof, I don't know. Anyway, our box it ups are in race numbers 5 for Charles, race number 7 for me. Again, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box, and for our good friends in Turkey and anywhere else on the world, if you're betting Delaware Park today, please head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You will see that Delaware Park is the free track of the day. Just click on that. You'll see number 3, Ladiness, was the top pick in race number 1. Also a best bet over there at Delaware Park. I don't know how Ladiness did, if the race has already gone off. But those of you who do subscribe for the monthly version will also have the Breeders' Cup picks included, because less than a month from now will be the Breeders' Cup. If you do the monthly pro, you'll also be entitled to our very in-depth, the wagering guide, where we cover just about everything you can imagine. That's one way to support the show. Make sure you use the link in the description below, or that ones that you'll find over at horseracingtoday.net. Great story from Ronaldo De Geo about Nest in the Beldam Stakes, where horse actually has connections, bloodlines to the namesake for the race. Kind of interesting. And while you're there, please click on that HRT gear link up here in the menu bar, and you'll find these fantastic hats, fantastic shirts. Hey, look at this one I created for our football show. We had a fantastic weekend for football between Jared, Sean, and myself. We'll be back for that on Friday evening at 10 o'clock Eastern. And then, of course, tomorrow, Charles and I will be back to cover Belmont at Aqueduct. On Thursday night, there will not be a Player's Edge podcast, but Eddie C and Chris P will do their spot play show on Thursday night. So you're going to want to make sure you don't miss that. The best way you make sure you don't miss anything is to go ahead and hit the subscribe button while you're on YouTube, along with the bell. Follow us on our social media sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Also, do us a favor, tell your friends about us. That's helpful as well, Charles.
Right on.
Any early thoughts about tomorrow at Belmont?
Oh, I hope it's not raining up there. That turns into a big old chaos.
Big mud mess up there, huh?
That's right. It always does, doesn't it?
Well,
and we got 1 minute to post here at Keeneland. So,
all right. So let's take a look at this first race. In the meantime, on Friday, Tom and I will be doing the Ascot races for 4 and Friday. It should be a fantastic show as well. And also, he mentioned there's a race to me at another track. It's and I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's the richest sprint stake in the world. So we'll have a bonus race for that richest stakes race in the world. And we've been pretty good. Man, I hit a really nice trifecta last week at Caulfield in the first race that we did. And I think it's $250 for 50 cents. So I'll take that every day of the week. And then I just missed a really big one in the last race. So it's also important to pay attention to, because with the Breeders' Cup coming, a lot of these foreign horses that run in Europe, some in Japan, some from Hong Kong, some maybe from Australia, find their way to Kentucky in 2022 and could be horses that you want to know a little bit about. All right, Charles. So let's see. Race number 1. There's still a minute to post. They're kind of milling around a little bit. So let's see. Well, looks like, they're just getting to the gate now. So it's going to be a minute, right? Oh, no, they're going in right now. So perfect. Let's see what happens in race number 1. Real quick, let's put our picks back up on the screen for race number 1, Charles, so we could see how it plays out.
Do your famous calling of the race.
Oh, yes, as I audition for something that's never going to happen. Maybe what I could do is listen to the announcer in my ear and just kind of repeat what they say.
It'd still probably be hard, to be honest with you.
That would probably be even harder, I would guess, Charles.
Yeah.
All right, so they're all in. The 8-horse field, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All horses are in. It's a clean break. And as they come in, you got about 4 horses across the field that are competing for the lead. The 6, the 1, and the 3. Not every day they give you the horses in the back that are first, but it looks to me like the 8 is on the lead, followed closely on the outside. So editorial comment has a slight lead over number 7. I can't put that on the screen. What am I doing? That's the wrong one. I'm going to get us into a lot of trouble. I have to blur that one out. I meant to have this on the screen, Charles.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't want to do that. All right, here we go. So 7 has now taken the lead on the, what am I doing here, Charles?
On the 8.
There we go. 7 has taken the lead from the 8. The 8 looks like the jockey's a little bit into the 8 already, so I'm expecting him to fade.
The 8's backing up bad.
Before has moved to the outside, Bronwando, and he's coming like a truck at the end. But this looks like the 7 horses race to win, Charles. Neither one of us has the 7. So yesterday I did have the winner in the first race, so hopefully it's an omen that things are going to be the opposite of yesterday. Although the 4 is trying to make up ground, but I don't know if he's going to get there, Charles, because the horse's head's a little cockeyed. The 7 looks determined. The jockey's just getting into the 7, but here comes the 4. 4 is making a late rush, and here comes a whole lot of horses at the end. The 7 is fading, and it's going to go 4,
4, 1, 5.
And at the wire, the 5. So 4, 1, and 5. Charles has the opening pick trifecta. So way to go. We both have the exact. I just didn't have the 5 in there.
And that 8 backed up like he's
the
done
7.
before.
Yeah, the 7 really did give up a lot of ground late. So nice exacta and trifecta get started in race number 1. Race number 2 again is our prime rib pick 4. So hopefully Charles makes it to the last leg. Hopefully I make it there too. Hopefully you make it back tomorrow and tonight for the Horse Center show, as well as our picks tomorrow at Belmont at Aqueduct. Any final thoughts before we get up and out of here, Charles? And I did not mean to the folks at Keeneland to show that. So I am going to go in 50 win. Yes, indeed. What's up, fellas? Hey, Razor, how you doing, my friend, today? You know you made it when the X-rated stuff starts to spam you. So we have that right there. Apologize for that, folks. Any final thoughts before we get up and out of here?
Oh, no, we're all good. Let's go and get some winners and sit a couple pick 4s, huh?
Hey, and if you haven't had a chance yet, Razor has some great content as well. Make sure you check out Razor. Is it Razor Sharp Picks, right? That's how people will find you on the 4 with a nice win in the first race. Like that. Razor's Picks, you can find that on YouTube. Check him out. Does some football, does some baseball, does horse racing, does a little bit of everything. But what he does, I think, fantastically, along with the picks there, is that was Burner dating website. So what do you have now? You don't have that anymore? But anyway, but what he is entertaining too as well. So great picks, a lot of entertainment with the Razor. Let's see, what has he got now? Yeah, there you go. It's just the facts. That's all we do around here at Razor is facts, my man. All right, so make sure you check out Razor. Great show. Support his content as well. I want to say thank you to Barry. I want to say thank you to August. I want to say thank you to Sakid Mohammed for the thumbs up on Facebook. If you like what you see as well here on YouTube, kindly smash that like button. Help us out a lot. Head on over to horseracingtoday.net. Get yourself a hat or shirt so you can look as fantastic as myself or Charles. All right, Charles, any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
No, that's all we have for today. Just hope we don't get no rain for Aqueduct.
All right, my final 3 thoughts for the day. Let's pretend like we're Journey, the band. Be good to yourself, because if you're not good to yourself, who else will be, correct? Trust your first instinct, Charles. A lot of times I override my first instinct, and it's always usually a mistake, right? Use it to get them, those people who have been a little bit toxic maybe around you in your life, let them know that they're being a little bit negative, and you want to see them for their own selves better. And then finally, no matter what else is that you do today, whether you're at work, you're checking out Razor a little bit later on in the day, hopefully cashing some checks with Charles and I, but no matter what you do, we hope it ends up in one place, and that is
the winner's circle.
Yes. Thanks for joining us on this hump day. And I will blur that out, folks, at Keeneland, so don't get mad at me. Thank you. Have a great day.